This is what's happening across the country. We will take up a few more stories a little bit later. But first of all, we want to have a conversation with a representative of government, specifically its official spokesperson. And he's here to talk about some of the issues you've actually seen in the news right now. But I want this to be an interactive session. So where you are at home, I want you to send in your questions and send in your comments through our SMS line, which is 22047. Should be on your screen right about now. I'd also like my producer to put up the WhatsApp number so that people can send in their messages on WhatsApp, and I'll be able to sample them and be able to, throw them to our representative here, as well as send in your feedback through our Twitter handle. But first, we're joined by the government spokesperson, Bwana Isaac Mwaura. Karibu sana, Honorable.
Asante sana.
Habari ya masiku.
Tuko salama kabisa.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
All right.
Yes.
We have just had a story on our screen right now about some challenges coming in to something that was initially touted as amazing, as a big change, a game changer for Kenya's healthcare system, the CHPs. Now things are emerging, corruption, inflated payrolls, equipment missing in those packages. What's going on, sir? Yeah,
well, every good intention is sometimes wrought with some people who may not do it well. And it is important, that is why Parliament exists, to check whether there are any discrepancies in what was intended and what is on the ground. Even when it comes to matters law, you have always that challenge of what is and what ought to be. So what ought to be is an intention that is very much encapsulated in the provisions of the programmatic design of the community health promoters, otherwise known as CHPs, previously known as CHVs. And the understanding is very simple. You get 2,500 from the national government, another 2,500 from the county government. So you co-share. We have 106,000 that are enrolled in that program. And also they are given equipment by the national government and county government. And we've been, for example, in places such as Lamu, Wajir, we gave them smartphones and all of that. So if there are any discrepancies in that regard, of course, the Parliament will highlight that with a view to correcting any anomalies.
But one would ask, and this question was actually asked right at the time when the program was being launched. Have there been stress tests? Have there been pilot programs to make sure that the system is foolproof, that everything works correctly? Because, I mean, such shortfalls, the numbers we're talking about in terms of the payroll are quite huge difficulties. Wasn't this envisioned and wasn't this planned properly?
I think, my brother, human is to error. There is no system that is foolproof. That even if you tried, that is why the Japanese have got that, principle of Kaizen, continuous improvement. And so therefore, we designed something. It is not perfect. There are teething problems. But is it working? Yes. It was predicated upon a pre-existing structure of community health volunteers that were never compensated or recognized officially. But remember, the aim of the CHPs, and that remains to be the focus, is prevention. Because as we know very well, the mantra goes that prevention is better than cure. And so, my brother, that if there is any problem somewhere, it will be corrected. In terms of programmatic evaluation, we have formative evaluation, which is where you look at what was happening before, and there was a very good, design. There is process evaluation. This is what is happening right now, and then there will be also summative evaluation if at all a program is coming to an end. That's what we do in public policy programs. So any process must be reviewed so that we see where there are leakages and seepages, and then it is with a view to correcting it. And I think it's very, 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 very procedural.
Fair enough. However, people would wonder, for example, we've had a story in our broadcast this evening about a gas leak in Mombasa that affected some students and they were evacuated and so on, but they were still able to go back and sit for those examinations that were interrupted. With CHPs at the absolute front line of the health situation in the country, and SHA in this case, it's human lives that are at stake. If there are gaps, if there are problems, we pay by blood and lives. Don't you think that's such a steep price to pay for something that should have been envisioned properly?
It is not the intention of the government to have those mishaps. But you agree with me that, as I said earlier, there is no system that is foolproof. And so therefore, we are also learning. Let me take you back so that you understand. His Excellency President William Ruto assented to the 3 SHA bills on 19th of October, 2023 at State House, Nairobi. Mm-hmm. He came straight from China and assented to those bills, right? The intention was we start registration of SHA by 1st of March so that level 1, 2, and 3 are free. Level 4 to 6, you pay shift. That's why we are saying the shift to shift. Are we together? And then we have the critical, emergency and critical care, in fund. Mm-hmm. But because of, protracted court cases, doctors strike, clinicians strikes and all of that, we ended up starting this program on 1st of October.
Right. Now, on that note, just a second. I would like to give you some time to take us through, because I understand there's a chronology to this. But my director is telling me we need to take a short break. Okay. And I wouldn't want to interrupt you at that critical moment. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. And please pick it up from where you left off. We'll be right back.